Warriors of Dominion, Zeus speaks. A hidden shift is quietly changing how successful runs are built, and most players don't even realize it's happening. Small decisions in the development shop can completely change the strength of your team later in the chapter. The difference between a comfortable victory and a failed run often comes down to a handful of purchases. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how my Chapter 2 run unfolded and why a few key decisions made all the difference. Let's get into it. As soon as I unlocked Chapter 2, I headed straight into the development shop. Before any battle begins, that's where the real strategy starts. The shop offered me Martha and Iris, and alongside them I picked up Ishmael, Lyria, and Dante. Dante wasn't necessarily part of the long-term plan, but at that stage he was simply too useful to ignore. The one hero I was really looking for was Sebastian. Unfortunately, he was nowhere to be found. With the initial setup complete, we entered the first battle. The result was exactly what we wanted. A clean victory. We did lose Lyria along the way, but the team performed well overall and secured 36 stall coins. Back in the shop, I selected the Talisman of Onslaught. It wasn't my ideal choice, but it provided enough value to keep the run moving forward. After refreshing the shop, I finally found Iris. That was a huge moment. I immediately pinned Iris, along with Dante and Martha, making sure they wouldn't disappear during future refreshes. The second battle was even smoother. Another comfortable victory. Another 36 stall coins. Back in the development shop, I picked up Martha for 16 stall coins. Getting both Martha and Dante at those prices felt like excellent value. A refresh later, Ishmael appeared for 8 coins and Iris for 16. I picked them up immediately and pinned both heroes once again. The next battle followed the same pattern. Controlled. Efficient. Very little resistance. This victory rewarded us with 54 stall coins, giving us much more flexibility going forward. Back in the shop, I picked up Ishmael and Lyria for 32 coins and added another Iris copy for 16. Another refresh brought Martha back into the rotation, and I bought her instantly. The following battle was our first real test. Not difficult enough to threaten the run, but definitely more challenging than the earlier encounters. Still, we secured the victory and moved on. Back in the shop, I continued investing into Ishmael and found another Iris copy. She was quickly becoming one of the pillars of the team. The next battle was rough. This time we lost Dante. Fortunately, Dante had already done his job. The important thing was that we secured the win. Returning to the shop, I purchased Lyria for 16 coins and another Iris copy for 32, finally maxing Iris out. At this stage, both Martha and Ishmael were maxed as well. The core of the team was fully online. Only one piece was missing. Sebastian. And Sebastian simply refused to appear. Refresh after refresh. Nothing. I found another Lyria copy for 16 coins and kept searching. Eventually, the patience paid off. Sebastian finally appeared. I bought him immediately and headed into the next battle. This fight was close. In fact, we nearly lost Sebastian almost immediately after adding him. But he survived. The team held together. And we secured another victory, earning a massive 80 stall coins. That gave us some breathing room. Back in the development shop, I found Lyria again, and was only one card away from maxing her. Initially I skipped the offer because it cost 32 coins for 2 cards, and I only needed 1. It felt inefficient. That decision paid off. A little later, the single card returned for just 16 coins. Easy purchase. Sebastian also appeared again for 32 coins, and I grabbed him without hesitation. Then came the next battle. The enemy lineup consisted of Yasmin, Morrigan, Cornelius and Phobos. A dangerous combination on paper. But once the battle started, the result was surprisingly straightforward. Our team simply overwhelmed them. Another victory. Another 80 stall coins. Now it was time to prepare for the final battle. At this stage, pets became the priority. I started by purchasing Fenris and Albus. After refreshing, I found Axel, Biscuit, and Oliver. Oliver joined the team as well. The only remaining objective was finishing Sebastian. And honestly, Sebastian was the hardest hero to complete in the entire chapter. Refresh after refresh, he simply refused to appear. Eventually, I managed to pick up one more Sebastian card. Still not enough. So I kept pushing. Then, with only 48 stall coins remaining, the shop finally delivered exactly what I needed. 2 Sebastian cards for 32 stall coins. Perfect timing. Bought instantly? Now the final setup was complete. Lyria with Oliver. Ishmael with Fenris. Sebastian with Albus. Iris with Biscuit. Martha with Axel. And Team Pet Axel supporting the entire lineup. Everything was ready. The final battle began. And honestly, compared to some of the earlier fights, this one felt surprisingly comfortable. The team was fully developed. The synergies were active. Every hero was doing exactly what they needed to do. And the result was a decisive victory. Chapter 2 cleared. For the rewards, we secured 2 medallions, 20,000 valor coins, and 30 large skin stone chests. A full Chapter 2 completion. Strong rewards, and a build that came together almost perfectly, even if Sebastian made us work for every single copy. The biggest lesson from this run is simple. Success isn't about buying everything. It's about knowing what to prioritize. Every stall coin matters. Every refresh matters. And every decision shapes the strength of your team later in the chapter. Now I want to hear from you. How did your Chapter 2 run go? Did you build around Iris? Did you chase a completely different strategy? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Dominion strategy content. This is Zeus signing off. And remember, victory belongs to those who prepare for it.